What if I told you that a book written nearly 2,000 years ago could change the way you think forever? These are the private thoughts of Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, written not for fame but for himself. What you're about to hear may change your life. Tuesday May Act. The ideal wise man is sufficient unto himself in all things, Alpha Upsilon Tau Alpha Rho Kappa. And knowing these truths, he will be happy even when stretched upon the rack. It is probable that no Stoic claimed for himself that he was this wise man, but that each strove after it as an ideal much as the Christian strives after a likeness to Christ. The exaggeration in this statement was, however, so obvious that the later Stoics were driven to make a further subdivision of things indifferent into what is preferable. Pi rho omicron eta gamma mu nu alpha, and what is undesirable, alpha pi rho omicron eta gamma mu nu alpha. They also held that for him, who had not attained to the perfect wisdom, certain actions were proper, kappa alpha theta kappa omicron nu tau alpha. These were neither virtuous nor vicious, but, like the indifferent things, held a middle place. 2 points in the Stoic system deserve special mention. One is a careful distinction between things which are in our power and things which are not. Desire and dislike, opinion and affection are within the power of the will, whereas health, wealth, honor, and other such are generally not so. The Stoic was called upon to control his desires and affections, and to guide his opinion, to bring his whole being under the sway of the will or leading principle, just as the universe is guided and governed by divine providence. This is a special application of the favorite Greek virtue of moderation, sigma omega phi rho omicron sigma nu eta, and has also its parallel in Christian ethics. The second point is a strong insistence on the unity of the universe and on man's duty as part of a great whole. Public spirit was the most splendid political virtue of the ancient world, and it is here made cosmopolitan. It is again instructive to note that Christian sages insisted on the same thing. Christians are taught that they are members of a worldwide brotherhood, where is neither Greek nor Hebrew, bond nor free, and that they live their lives as fellow workers with God. Such is the system which underlies the meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Some knowledge of it is necessary to the right understanding of the book, but for us the chief interest lies elsewhere. We do not come to Marcus Aurelius for a treatise on Stoicism. He is no head of a school to lay down a body of doctrine for students. He does not even contemplate that others should read what he writes. His philosophy is not an eager intellectual inquiry, but more what we should call religious feeling. The uncompromising stiffness of Zeno or Chrysippus is softened and transformed by passing through a nature reverent and tolerant, gentle and free from guile. The grim resignation which made life possible to the Stoic sage becomes in him almost a mood of aspiration. His book records the innermost thoughts of his heart, set down to ease it with such moral maxims and reflections as may help him to bear the burden of duty and the countless annoyances of a busy life. It is instructive to compare the Meditations with another famous book, The Imitation of Christ. There is the same ideal of self-control in both. It should be a man's task, says the Imitation, to overcome himself, and every day to be stronger than himself. In withstanding of the passions standeth very peace of heart. Let us set the axe to the root, that we being purged of our passions may have a peaceable mind. To this end there must be continual self-examination. If thou may not continually gather thyself together, namely sometimes do it at least once a day, the morning or the evening. In the morning purpose, in the evening discuss the manner what thou hast been this day in word, work, and thought. But while the Roman's temper is a mod est self-reliance, the Christian aims at a more passive mood, humbleness and meekness, and reliance on the presence and personal friendship of God. The Roman scrutinizes his faults with severity, but without the self-contempt which makes the Christian vile in his own sight. The Christian, like the Roman, bids study to withdraw thine heart from the love of things visible, but it is not the busy life of duty he has in mind so much as the contempt of all worldly things, and the cutting away of all lower delectations. Both rate men's praise or blame at their real worthlessness. Let not thy peace, says the Christian, be in the mouths of men, but it is to God's censure. The Christian appeals the Roman to his own soul. The petty annoyances of injustice or unkindness are looked on by each with the same magnanimity. Why doth a little thing said or done against thee make thee sorry? It is no new thing, it is not the first, nor shall it be the last, if thou live long. At best suffer patiently, if thou canst not suffer joyously. The Christian should sorrow more for other men's malice than for our own wrongs. But the Roman is inclined to wash his hands of the offender. Study to be patient in suffering and bearing other men's defaults and all manner infirmities, says the Christian, but the Roman would never have thought to add, if all men were perfect, what had we then to suffer of other men for God? The virtue of suffering in itself is an idea which does not meet us in the Meditations. Both alike realize that man is one of a great community. No man is sufficient to himself, says the Christian. We must bear together, help together, comfort together. But while he sees a chief importance in zeal, in exalted emotion that is, an avoidance of lukewarmness, the Roman thought mainly of the duty to be done as well as might be, and less of the feeling which should go with the doing of it. To the saint as to the emperor, the world is a poor thing at best. Verily it is a misery to live upon the earth, says the Christian. Few and evil are the days of man's life, which passeth away suddenly as a shadow. But there is one great difference between the two books we are considering. The Imitation is addressed to others, the Meditations by the writer to himself. We learn nothing from the imitation of the author's own life, except in so far as he may be assumed to have practiced his own preachings. The Meditations reflect mood by mood the mind of him who wrote them. In their intimacy and frankness lies their great charm. These notes are not sermons. They are not even confessions. There is always an air of self-consciousness in confessions. In such revelations there is always a danger of unctuousness or of vulgarity for the best of men. Augustine is not always clear of offense, and John Bunyan himself exaggerates venial peccadillos into heinous sins. But Marcus Aurelius is neither vulgar nor unctuous. He extenuates nothing, but nothing sets down in malice. He never poses before an audience. He may not be profound, he is always sincere. And it is a lofty and serene soul which is here disclosed. Before us, vulgar vices seem to have no temptation for him. This is not one tied and bound with chains which he strives to break. The faults he detects in himself are often such as most men would have no eyes to see. To serve the divine spirit which is implanted within him, a man must keep himself pure from all violent passion and evil affection, from all rashness and vanity, and from all manner of discontent, either in regard of the gods or men, or, as he says elsewhere, unspotted by pleasure, undaunted by pain. Unwavering courtesy and consideration are his aims. Whatsoever any man either doth or saith, thou must be good. Doth any man offend? It is